What is up, guys? It's up from Base Brothers, and welcome. Welcome to another tutorial about Hardstyle. And today's episode is about that Tweekaz lead. And we made this lead on live stream, and I've recorded the whole tutorial also on live stream. So, yeah. If you want to watch us do things live, there's our Twitch link down in the description. Go follow us there, and you should get notified whenever we are live. Usually on Saturdays, but of course, times may vary, and the goal is to stream 2 times a week. One which is in English, and the other stream is in Finnish. So, now at the moment we are doing 1 live stream a week, and it's, well, it depends. It might be in Finnish, it might be in English. Just come check it out and chat with us, and yeah, let's get on to the Tweekaz lead. And yeah, here's the final sound, and then we are going to the live stream clip after this. There we go. Let's move on to the live clip. Recording as well. So now I have the clip for the tutorial. So quick fixes first, and then let's recap the whole thing. A little bit too metallic. Okay, that's perfect. At least as perfect as it can be. And let's do the tutorial now, and after that we're gonna end the stream. So, first of all, here is the whole sound, and let's listen it from start to finish, and then I'll show each and every part of the lead sound and the processing thoughts behind them, and let's look a little bit about the chords and the bass line as well. But they're not important in this tutorial. The main part is the lead, of course. And yeah, let's listen to the whole track, or the whole lead sound. And there it is. There was the lead, there was the chords, and the bass line. And of course, the original track is from that Tweekaz, and the track is called Come On. And this is how we did it. The lead is, it's 4 layers, and the lead on its own, with all the layers active, sounds like this. And without the reverb. Then let's listen all the layers on their own. This is the first layer. This is the second one. Here's the third. And the fourth. Now we can look at each layer, how they are made, and after we've gone all through the synthesizers, then we're gonna look at the mixer presets. So the first layer is basically it's two oscillators. The first one is solid, the other one is a square one, and they're both in mono setting, so only one voice. The re-triggers are turned on, and that's because we want to change the phase of each oscillator, and this is the best way to do it. And I'm not gonna mess about with these settings, so we're not gonna lose the sound, but basically it's all you need to do is put this on mono settings and then mess around with the phase until you get the sound that is what you are looking for. You can also do this in both in saw waves and basically get the same type of results. We have a small pitch envelope here to make it sound more plucky, and I can mess around with this one. So it makes a little tick sound in the note, start of the note. Then we have a pitch LFO with it's a triangle shape, and the rate is at here. You can see it on the top left corner. A little bit of gain, and of course we need to adjust the pitch a little bit so it works. I used to have a cutoff filter here, but this is not working, so this is not necessary. And for the gliding notes, we have the mono legato turned on here. Basically, that's the first layer. Second one, and it sounded like this. And here we have one voice saw layer and a two voice saw layer with quite a lot of detune. And with that, we have a random waveform pitch LFO with rate all the way up and a little bit of gain. Basically, that's the whole layer. There's nothing else to it. A little bit of volume envelope and a little bit of distortion as well. And that's it. The B part is empty. It was used, but it's now turned off. So this is the only thing you need. And the third layer, and this is basically just to fill out the stereo image a little bit. So we have basically a hypersaw on the A part, 8 voices on both oscillators. We have the saw waves and a little bit of detune. And then we have slight distortion and some chorus. And with the saw wave, we have a small pitch and LFO as well. And on the B part, we have a mono square wave and a mono saw wave. Just to make the thing a little bit more powerful. But that's it. And the fourth layer. And this is also a super saw, hyper saw type of thing. And this is from this preset, just a little bit weak version. And yeah, only the A part is used. We have some distortion and some EQ and compression, and I think these were the settings that were in the original preset. And then the mixer side. So first of all, there are quite a lot of things which are hard to actually replicate or tell exactly how you need to do it. You just have to play it with ear. And if I explain the process, maybe you can easily, or not easily, at least you can recreate the same stuff that is done here. And on all the layers, they are routed into a separate channel. Everything is EQ'd a little bit differently, not much, just boosted up some of the frequencies that is complementing the whole lead sound. So you need to do the EQs when all the layers are playing. You need to adjust the volumes and do the EQs at the same time, and this is just a trial and error process and listening, trying to find the right frequencies which you want to boost and which you want to lower down. And yeah, there's no low pass, low cuts or high cuts. We are doing them on the lead bass or at the final send. It doesn't really matter. But of course, there's no downside if you decide to cut off like this. It's just not necessary at this point, I think. If you want to, add a lot of distortion on the lead bass, then perhaps you like to cut a little bit of the low end, so you get more cleaner sound on the distortion. And then when you have all the separate channels mixed up as you like, and you're routing them into a separate lead bus, so all the different layers are routed here. We have a multiband compression to make them sound more unified. And basically this is just adjusting these bands and the depth. I don't think you don't even have to touch on the time or the input-output gains. Only if you are clipping right from the input a lot, then you might want to lower down the input gain. Then we have a CLA compression to compress. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have a saturation first, and there's just a little bit of saturation, a little bit differently on each band. So these are actually the bands made by the Ozone's algorithm by clicking the learn button and then playing the sound. This is the different bands that the algorithm chose. And on all the different bands, we use triode as the saturation type and just a slight effect. So it's like on average 35% wet sound and 65% dry sound. And after the saturation, then we have the CLA compression, which compresses the whole sound. It gives a little bit more saturation, and I really like this compression on the plucky sound of plucky type of leads. It complements them nicely. Of course, you can use any type of compression if you want to. You don't need this to replicate the sound as close as possible, but I think this is helpful. It's easy. Just a gain knob and a peak reduction knob, which is basically the threshold of the compression, and the attack and release is already in the compressor's algorithm. Then we have some EQs, and yeah, the whole EQ looks like this. You can use it with less bands, of course, but when you're listening, you're making a band, you're listening to something and adjusting, and then you might want to come back. So that's the reason why there's so many of these different bands. You can basically use I guess this one, and this one, and of course the low cut. But anyways, it's all done playing by ear. And the last EQ is just to fix things up in the final sound. And I think there was too much on 400 Hz, so I dropped it down a little bit. Of course, it can be also done here, but it was already getting a little bit messy, so decided to open up a new EQ and do the things there. Yeah, that was about the lead part. And let's look at the chords next real quickly. And of course the bass line as well. And lastly, let's look at how they're all processed into the final send, and we are not gonna tackle into the reverb. I don't think this is even remotely close what that Tweekaz has, so this is basically unnecessary for this tutorial. So, chords next. And here we have the chords, and they sound like this. There are 3 layers. And the first layer sounds like this. Second layer like this. And the third layer this. And I know the notes are not correct, but who cares? This is about the lead. And the first chord layer is basically a hypersaw. And there's nothing too difficult about this one. Just 8 voices, saw wave, detune, and on the A2 oscillator I have 1 octave pitch down, and it's only 4 voices. And then there is a slight cutoff envelope modulation, and it's just to make the sound more plucky. So it's a slight effect. And a little bit of slow rate, pitch LFO to make it sound, I guess, a little bit more natural. I don't know, it fitted quite well on the sound, so left it like that. The second one is a Serum preset called LD Hypersaw. And can't quite remember what was done with this one, except at least if there was any delays or reverbs, they were of course deleted. We don't need those. Yeah, there's nothing too much to talk about this one because it's a preset. We didn't make these, just tweaked a little bit. And the third layer is, this is also a preset. It's called LD Supersaw. It's a factory preset. And I think this is quite nice Supersaw. We use this quite often to fill out the whole sound. Basically, this is the whole purpose of this one, is just to fill out some supersaw into the whole chords thing. And the processing is basically same type as in the lead. First, balancing out the different mixer channels. After that, doing the necessary EQs and routing them into a chords plus. And here we have the same type of processing as in the leads. So first we have a OTT, which only is like 11% on the wet side, so it's quite slight effect. We have same type of saturation here with the same triode settings, and the bands are learned by the algorithm. Same compression, CLA, and then we have some EQs, which is basically here we have boosted a little bit around the 300 Hz, then a little bell curve which dropped down on the 1K, and then we have a slight peak boost on the 2K. And then we have a boost on the 12K, and that's it. After that we have the low cut, of course, to remove the unnecessary low end, and some other EQing to make it fit with the lead sound. And the chords are completely dry, so there's no reverb going on there. Yeah, basically that was the chords. Let's look at the bass lines. And the bass line consists of two different layers, and the first one is basically a sub bass, and it's only a sine wave on Serum's sub oscillator, and then we have a saw oscillator on the A part, and that's pretty much it. So it's a init preset with a sub. We have some OTT and a high cut EQ with a little drop on the 220 Hz. Actually, that's quite big drop, it's 3 decibels. And then we have the other bass line, which has the Nexus preset with the bassline basic saw open on the factory preset pack, and that fitted quite well, so there was no need to make a separate or an own preset. And basically here we have a low cut, because we already have the sub bass here, so we don't need the low end on this one. And a little bit of OTT, actually quite a lot, only 25% is dry sound. And those both are routed into a channel and processed there. So there's a pretty high boost on the 12K, quite high boost on 100 Hz, and last we have a compression, again CLA. And now that we have the bassline, let's look at the final send, which consists of the lead, the dry lead sound, and the lead reverb, and the chords. And together they sound like this. And the purpose of this final send is to combine all the sounds into a more unified sound. And first we have a OTT with only 10% bed sound, and the bands adjusted to the peaks of the frequencies. And if you watch our other tutorials, we have explained this multiband mid-side saturation, and the purpose of this is to make the sound more wider. And if we listen without it, and now with, so it makes the whole sound a little bit more wider, using different types of saturations on the mid channel and a different saturation on the side. Then we have some EQs. We have here a little bit boosted on the 700 Hz and a little dip on the 3K Hz. And then we have the other Tweekaz equalization, and there's some boosting on the 12K Hz and some boosting on the 100K. Again, another compression, and glue things together. A little neutron tree sculpture to tame out the peaks a little bit. And again, we have some EQs to correct the sound a little bit and make it balanced, more balanced. And basically this is without any effects on the final send. And now with the effects. So the effects make the sound more brighter and a little bit more bigger. And that's it. The things that I learned when making this Tweekaz lead, and actually this was done on few other previous live streams, and few times deleted everything and started over, so it was a quite long process. And the insight was making leads more mono, and it worked perfectly. And I suggest that you try the same thing. And I was taught this technique by Digital Minds the other day. I asked a little bit about his knowledge about leads, and this was the thing I learned. It's making leads in mono and then filling out the stereo image with chords and with reverb. Yeah. And I think that was the tutorial part done. And again, this part is going on YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, we are doing live streams every week. Usually it's on Saturday. This was on Sunday. So yeah, if you like to see things done in a live stream, you should join our Twitch army. You can find the link down in the description. And I think I will record the outro for this tutorial on a later day. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. That was the Tweekaz lead tutorial. And stay tuned for new videos, new live streams, new content, new music, everything. Peace out.